I want to talk about recurrent miscarriages because if you've experienced the devastation of any miscarriage, let alone recurrent miscarriage, I want you to know that you're not alone, okay? So it's not your fault. So many ladies beat themselves up thinking there's something wrong with me, something wrong with your body, why is my body failing me? But yes, for sure, it is an incredibly difficult journey, and while you're searching for answers that just feel out of reach, it can drive you absolutely insane. So then if you start beating yourself up on top of that, then the effect on your fertility is just compounded. Okay, so I want to talk about some of the hidden causes of recurrent miscarriages, the ones that are often overlooked, but they can hold the key to transforming your fertility journey. Okay, so if we just start with this big misconception, let's just get it out of the way, because many women are told that miscarriage is simply bad luck, or that it's just random events, and don't worry, it'll be fine next time, just keep going, keep trying. So while some losses absolutely can't be explained, the truth is that in most cases there are underlying factors that are contributing to this heartbreaking pattern. So when we identify these, when we address these factors, that's when we see absolutely incredible progress. Sorry, I'm dying. I've got the heater on in here and it's like, no, it's not turning off. Dear. So here's the thing, all right? There are a couple of keys to these recurrent miscarriages in so many women, and when we start to understand this root cause, then we can start making huge differences to you carrying full term. So the first one is hormonal imbalances, okay? Because your hormones play a pivotal role in preparing your body for conception. There's no two ways around that. So they sustain your healthy pregnancy by remaining in balance for the duration of conception and then through your carrying, through the period that you're carrying. So issues if you've got like low progesterone, you've got some thyroid imbalances, they can all make it really difficult for your body to support a pregnancy. And it's often these imbalances that are misdiagnosed, not even considered, because they might not be considered as being part of like a hormone checker for fertility, or even like, just misdiagnosed with, oh no, it's fine, you're within parameters. But being within a parameter doesn't mean that everything's in balance, because you could be at the top of this parameter, the bottom of the other parameter. Already you can start to see fluctuations that are causing problems. Layer on top of that, because it's never generally just the one thing, things like inflammation. If you've got chronic inflammation, that's a silent contributor to so many fertility challenges, miscarriages being one of them. So inflammation can affect your uterine lining. That makes it harder for this embryo to implant into this nice soft womb, like a little pillow for it to nestle into. And so then that's when you tend to see some early complications within a pregnancy. So that inflammation can come from loads and loads of different underlying conditions. So it could be something like endometriosis, but it could even be things like dietary and lifestyle factors. And within the root cause assessment, that's what we're getting down to. We're getting down to looking at what is going on in your body, because everybody's body is different. Then we may well be looking at blood flow and circulation issues. So for a baby to grow, it needs all the nutrients. That comes in the form of blood flow. So healthy blood flow to your uterus is absolutely essential for supporting your embryo. So if there's any kind of stagnation where it's just not moving fast enough, or your circulation isn't powerful enough, or you might get some clotting disorders, lifestyle factors play into this as well, then that can prevent your body from sustaining a pregnancy. So these issues are often missed in standard fertility testing. It's just not noticed, and it's huge, because if you're not feeding your body properly, you're not feeding your baby, or the baby that you want properly, what's going to happen? doesn't get the food, then unfortunately it doesn't have the energy to grow properly and efficiently and effectively. Now, recurrent miscarriages are sometimes as well linked to genetic and chromosomal issues. So that could either be with the embryo itself, and let's not ignore the way that the male sperm plays into that as well, because we need a male sperm for a healthy embryo, and that's very often overlooked. But it's also about how your body processes things like folic acid. So understanding these patterns can help to create a more tailored approach for you, and how then we can support your fertility, because there's no generic approach to this. When we start getting down to the details of what's going on and these finite issues that are causing problems to you carrying your baby full term, we're not talking generic, we're really looking at what's going on in your body. Now, I don't think there's a person alive today that doesn't have some form of stress, whether that be emotional stress or whether it be physical stress. And there's 3 different types of stress. It's not just, oh, I'm really stressed. It's like the way that our body reacts is different. Now, that also links to inflammation. And what we're very often guilty of is almost like underestimating the role of stress. So whether that be emotional or physical, it all plays into our fertility. So it can impact those hormone levels that we were talking about earlier on. It can increase inflammation, and it can also affect the egg quality over time, as well as the uterine lining. So all of these things that we've been looking at, that we've been saying are really important for you to be able to carry your child, or anyone to be able to carry their child full term. We can see how one of the 3, even if it's just one, forms of stress can really create long-lasting issues in terms of your ability to be able to carry. Because if these aren't sorted out, the situation is just going to keep replaying, and that's how we end up dealing with recurrent miscarriages, as opposed to, you know, just one miscarriage. But I honestly believe there is no such thing as bad luck. I think there are things that we can do to improve the housing that our child sits within, and the more that we can do to support that, the more chance there is of that child carrying full term. So the good news is then that these hidden causes are not insurmountable. They're not insurmountable. So with the right approach, we can identify what's happening in your body, and we can take the required steps to address it. What's unique about the work that I do is that we don't just focus on the one piece of the puzzle, which is what Western medicine tends to look at. It looks at like your reproductive system as opposed to your body and how it's working as a whole. So I look at the whole picture. So your hormones, your inflammation levels, your emotional well-being, your physical well-being, and how your body is communicating its needs through symptoms. So your symptoms sit up here, but something's causing them. What we're doing is getting to the root cause of what's causing them, so that we can get rid of the symptoms, because when they disappear, there's no need for the body to communicate what's wrong anymore, and therefore the symptoms disappear. So this is not treating the symptoms. We're not giving you medication. It's not putting a band-aid on a symptom. We're dealing with the actual problem, and this is going to set you up for better health in the long term as well. We're truly understanding what's going on beneath the surface, so that we can give your body the best possible chance to carry your child full term. It's, I guess, looking at what the actual problem is rather than what the output of that problem is. So if this resonates you, then, you know, there are some steps that you can take today. You can review your test results, because, you know, there may well be gaps in what's been tested. You can start paying attention to the patterns in your symptoms, like spotting, cramping, fatigue, and what they might be telling you. And most importantly, you can seek out someone who can connect all of those dots for and with you, so that you're not left wondering. You have a clear, stepwise path to move forward, because you don't have to navigate this heartbreaking situation alone and risk things going wrong in the way that you would be if you were just on your own trying to figure it all out. There are answers and there is hope. And I hear you and I see you. I've been there dealing with doctors when they've told me that there's no hope. That's what was the inspiration behind Fertility Bandwidth in the first place, because that's what made me delve under the skin of what I was being told at symptom level. So I'd love to support you on this journey, because every step that we move forward brings you closer to the family that you've been dreaming of. So you know how to get in touch with me if you would like to. And I very much look forward to speaking with you soon.